Good morning for gentle yoga. We're going to come into a cross-legged seated posture, similar to Saturday class if you were with us on Saturday. So you can come to sit up on a block or a pillow or a bolster. And often we come into this cross-legged, kind of in this nice little yogi position, but I'm going to today have you bring the ankles underneath the knees. Yep. And this is a really rooted base here. And then when you're ready, closing your eyes and bring your attention to the breath. And as we bring the attention to the breath, we turn our focus, turn our gaze inwards. Noticing some of the present sensations in the body. It may seem a little strange that we have to develop and work with the ability to know the sensations of the body or to know the present experience of the body. But the mind is tailored to retrieving experiences from beyond the body. This is a preservation instinct. We scan constantly the world around us, and that can be beautiful and enriching, powerful. But it also means that we need to develop and tune the consciousness of the internal dynamic experience. And also consciously, purposefully, sometimes let go of the pull of the outside environment. And yogis often talk about centering or coming back to the present, and that's all that means. Cultivating the wider internal consciousness. So inviting your energy to settle here. There's a physical taking of the seat and then an energetic taking of the seat that can happen again and again. And releasing your attention down into the bowl of the pelvis, through the knees and into the feet. Noticing sensation in the feet. Noticing any tightness. And if possible, softening through the feet. Moving the attention up into the ankles. Again, just noticing sensation to begin. And then maybe feeling for some softening in between the bones of the ankles. And from the ankles all the way up through the lower half of the leg, up into the knees, noticing sensation in and around the knees. Sometimes the knees can hold their own planetary kind of orbital tensions. And then letting the knees become really heavy. And here, maybe the knees are on blocks or directly on the feet, letting them just land to whatever support is beneath them. And from the knees, traveling your attention up through the larger half of the leg and all the way up into the bowl of the pelvis. And feel for the tailbone releasing down. Notice the width of the sits bones, just getting a general sense of the base of the body. Pelvis, knees, feet, rooted and heavy. And then from the tailbone, slowly walking your attention up the spine. Just first noticing the lower back, noticing the space between the bottom of the tailbone and about the bottom of the ribs. Noticing the front of the body, the belly, the abdomen, the cavity of the organs, and how the organs nestle into this space along the spine. And specifically bring your attention up to the lower back ribs. And noticing sensation at the lower back ribs. Noticing if there's a sense of density, tightness, or rawness. There may not be, that's okay. Here we have the kidneys and the adrenals, responsible for stress response in the body. Just noticing that area. And then moving your attention further up through the spine, noticing the space around the ribs, the front and the back of the body. Notice the weight of the shoulder blades, if there's any tension around the shoulders and shoulder blades. And let the shoulder blades sit heavily down the back, feeling for some relaxation if possible. Lengthen the sides of the neck. And then sliding the front of the throat gently towards the back of the neck, drawing your attention all the way up to the crown of the head. Notice the space in between the crown of the head and the pelvic floor. Not only physical space, but energetic space. Widen your attention out into the whole of the body. Noticing the outline of the body in space. And then soften your attention back into the breath. And as you come back to the breath, maybe noticing some qualities of the breath here. There may be some tightness or rawness. The breath may feel accessible and gentle. I'm going to come into a calming moon breath today. So bring your right hand around in front of your face, the thumb on the right side of the nose, and the middle finger and fourth finger on the left. Take a deep breath in through both sides of the nose, and a long exhale. Closing the right side only, inhale through the left. closing the left side, exhale through the right. Good. Again, inhale through the left. And exhale through the right. And continuing with this breath for about a minute. Inhaling left, exhaling right. You may notice over time the breath starting to lengthen. Breathing deeper into the chest, filling the chest on the inhale. And slowing down the exhale if possible. And then for the last 5 rounds of breath here, I'm going to have you come into a visualization, if possible, if comfortable for you. As you inhale, draw in blue breath, blue energy through the left. And as you exhale, breathe out blue energy, blue breath through the right. So we're visualizing the energy or the air of the breath to be blue, drawing in through the left and out through the right. About 3 more rounds of breath. And the blue energy of the breath infusing the whole body, filling the whole body with blue light or blue energy. And then after your last exhale, releasing the right hand down to the leg, to the knee. And noticing the sensation of the breath in the body. You can even draw your attention to the end of the nose and visualize the breath traveling to channels in and out of the body. Just 3 rounds of breath. Nice and calm, peaceful. When you're ready, bring your hands to the heart center, Anjali Mudra. And bowing your forehead towards your fingertips, turning your attention even a little bit more internal, more inwards. And here connecting with an intention for your practice or an offering for your practice that you would like to make. And then gently lifting your gaze, releasing your hands. If you would like to, you can change the cross of your legs here. We've been sitting here for a little bit, and we'll be here just for another couple minutes. On your inhale, I'm going to sweep the arms high. Exhaling, hands through heart center. Just getting a sense of the breath moving the body. So as you inhale, notice how it's a little bit easier to raise the arms to the in-breath. And as you exhale, just noticing that the exhale kind of comes with its own quality of softening to it. Good. One more. Inhaling, widening, reach through the fingers, notice the shoulders. And exhale, releasing, hands through heart center. Good. Then inhale, sweeping the arms high, grow long through the sidelines of the body. And as you exhale, we're going to twist. Bring the right hand past the left knee, back fingers behind you to the floor or the lower back. Then inhale, sweep the back arm high. Exhale, gently lengthen over the opposite knee. Release the top hand down to the opposite knee. and come into this rounded back, head nice and heavy. Take a deep breath into the back ribs, back, upper back, and then rolling up, arms by the sides. Inhale, sweep the arms high, breathe all the way in. Exhale, twisting out over to the other side, just introducing motion into the body. Sweeping the back arm high, inhale, grow long. Exhale, diagonally lengthen over the left knee with a little bit of a twist. And then release the top arm down to the opposite knee, coming into this rounded spine, head heavy, right in the center of the body. Breathe into the back. And then rolling up, sweep the arms high, deep breath in. Exhale, twisting out over the left knee, right hand past the left knee. Inhale, sweep the back arm high. Exhale, diagonally lengthen over the right knee and hold here. If it's okay with the neck, turn the gaze upwards and keep rolling the top shoulder over the bottom shoulder. Gentle breath into the left ribs and maybe even into those lower left back ribs if possible. One more round of breath. On your exhale, release the top hand down to the opposite knee, coming back into this crossed arms posture. Spine rounded, head heavy. Breathing into the upper back, 2 rounds of breath. And then this time we're going to roll up, elbows stay crossed, and the backs of the hands come to touch, or bring the palms to touch. Garudasana arms, pressing the forearms together strongly. Soften the shoulder blades down the back. Breathing here, gently pressing the elbows forward. And seasoned practitioners, as long as it's comfortable, drawing the front of the throat towards the back of the neck. Getting right into the trapezius here. Keep the arms pressing together vigorously. Good. Releasing the arms down. Inhale, other side, sweeping the arms high. Exhale, twisting out over the right knee. Sweeping the back arm high. Exhale, diagonally lengthen over the left knee. And breathing into the side ribs here. If comfortable, turn the gaze upwards. And this just helps keep that top shoulder lifting above the bottom shoulder so we're not rounding forward here at all. If you're rounding, lift the chest out of the lean a little bit and look up. See if you can feel for the twist a little bit more than the lengthening. Breathe into the lower back ribs if possible. Really sweet for the kidneys here. Exhale, release the top hand down to the opposite knee. Good. Rounding the back. Let the head be heavy. Breathe into the back body. And you can even gently tug on the knees, widening the shoulder blades away from the spine. As you roll up, keeping the elbows crossed. Backs of the hands come to touch, or the palms come to touch in Garudasana. Just check on your own body that the elbows aren't down by the ribs. Lift the elbows up at the height of the shoulders. Then soften the shoulders down. Then press the forearms together. Again, if you're comfortable with the throat work that we do, drawing the front of the throat gently to the back of the neck. Lengthen up through the crown of the head. And deepen the breath. Keep pressing the arm bones together. And then releasing the arms down. As you inhale, one last one, sweep the arms high. Free breath. Exhale, hands through heart center. Close the eyes, hands at the heart, and just notice the area of the neck and the shoulders down through the ribs. Good. And then rolling over the knees and coming onto your hands and knees, and we'll come right into table. If you have any knee sensitivity, you can bring a blanket underneath your knees. And if you have any wrist sensitivity, you can bring your hands up onto blocks, just like this, or onto books. Yeah. So then in table, spread wide through the fingers, except for the thumb. So let the thumb be really soft in towards the palm. Yeah. But the four fingers are spreading nice and wide. And then lift the feet off of the floor and press down through the shins into the mat. As you press down through the shins, feel that kind of coordinated lift of the lower abdomen, Uddiyana Bandha. Spine nice and long, lower abdomen gently engaged. On your inhale, gently lift the chest, looking forward. As you exhale, rounding the back, press the feet into the floor and press the hands into the floor. Let the head get heavy. Good. As you inhale, draw the chest forward, light tone in the lower belly, so we're not just ducking into that lower back. And exhale, rounding. Press the legs, feet into the floor, press the hands into the floor. Good. 3 more. To your own breath. As you continue moving here, see if you can feel for the top and the bottom of each breath. So breathing all the way in and breathing all the way out. And this should feel pretty sweet, a little bit of a massage for the spine. See if you can seek out the tight spaces and maybe spend a moment or two longer there. And then coming back to table, we're going to bring the knees mats width apart, the mounds of the big toes to touch, releasing the hips back towards the heels, and then walking the hands forward, coming into extended Virasana. We're going to keep the arms really active here. So spread wide through the fingers, press the palms into the floor, and then press the roots of the fingers, the knuckles of the fingers forward as you lengthen back through the sits bones. Just 3 rounds of breath here. And send the breath down into the bowl of the pelvis. Really flushing out the full length of the spine. And then keeping the hips where they are, you're going to walk your hands over to 2 o'clock. So they're going to come off of the mat over to the right. If the mat was a clock face pointing to 12, the hands walk over to about 2 o'clock over to the right. And then let the hands be about shoulders width apart. Let the head be heavy. Left hip releasing back and down. And then if you like, you can walk the left hand a little bit further over so that the left hand is on top of the right. Head heavy to the floor. Breathe into the left side. Walking through center. Walk through 12 o'clock and draw the hands all the way over to about 10 o'clock. Hands about shoulders width apart. Let the head become heavy. Right hip releasing down to the floor. Breathing into the right ribs. And then if it's comfortable for you, if you have the space, maybe walking that right hand over on top of the left and releasing your head all the way down to the floor. And then slowly walking the hands back to center. Take a round of breath here. Feel for those nice side lines of the body. Nice long side lines of the body. And then inhale, coming up onto the hands and the knees, tucking the toes and drawing the hips up and back into downward facing dog. To begin, we'll come into our wide-legged downward facing dog. So bring the feet out to the sides of the mat, the big toes on the mat and the little toes off the edge of the mat. Take a little bend into the knees, draw the sits bones up and back, and let the head get heavy as though you're starting to turn your gaze towards the belly button. Find your breath here, nice long inhales and exhales. And if you're beginning your practice here or you're just coming back to a practice after a break, just remember that downward facing dog eventually feels like a nice kind of neutral posture, a nice gentle posture. And the more you can draw your hips up and back, the less strain there's going to be in the shoulders and the neck. And from here, we're going to walk the hands back towards the feet. If you like, you can bring the feet hips width apart. And a little bend in the knees or a deep bend in the knees, enough to bring the belly onto the thighs. Head nice and heavy. Really settling in here for the spine. You should feel barely anything, if anything at all, in the backs of the legs. Relaxing the eyes, relaxing the jaw. And in our athleticism in this country, we have become really interested in the lengthening and toning of the arms and the legs, kind of these long exterior parts of the central body. And that's fine, but we've also got the spine. We've got the back and the belly and the organs. And the central part of the body really kind of coordinates health for the rest of it. Again, slowly rolling up vertebrae by vertebrae. Inhale, sweeping the arms high. And then here, clasping the hands together except for the pointer finger and the thumb. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, draw the navel gently in and up. Grow long through the sidelines as you inhale, and exhale, lengthen over to the right, breathing into the left ribs. Good. And see here if you can send the breath down to the lower left ribs. And feel the back ribs gently fluttering open to the breath. Maybe feel the tailbone releasing down at the same time. Slowly come back up to center. And exhale over to the other side. Breathe where you can. Maybe find breath in the side ribs. And if possible, breathing down into those lower right ribs. Let the lower right ribs gently flutter open to the breath. Feel the tailbone release down. Good. Inhale back up to center. Exhale, releasing hands through heart center. We'll clasp the hands around behind the tailbone. A little bend in the elbows so that we're really safe in the rotation of the shoulders. Good. Deep breath into the chest. And as you exhale, bend into the knees and fold forward over the legs, reaching the hands up to the sky. And just 3 rounds of breath. Press the upper arm bones together strongly. If it's comfortable for you, turning your gaze towards the navel, extending the back of the neck. Releasing the hands down towards the floor and walking yourself forward towards the front of the mat, coming back into downward facing dog. 3 rounds of breath here, breathing deeply into the bowl of the pelvis. Inhale right into the bowl of the pelvis. And as you exhale, starting to lift the navel in and up towards the back body. On your inhale, draw the shoulders forward over the wrists and holding in plank. If you like, you can bring the knees to the floor to hold here, or the legs are straight. Pressing the inner thighs up to the sky so the legs are really strong. Punching the hands down into the floor. Feel for the shoulder blades widening a little bit away from the spine, and then draw long through the crown of the head. So imagine that the heels are pressing back and the crown of the head is pressing forward. 2 more breaths. On your exhale, release the knees to the floor. Take a deep breath in, and then on your exhale, come all the way down to the floor. Good. And then we're going to bring the forehead to the floor. And the forearms, you can kind of move the blocks away if they're, or water bottles away if you've got stuff around you. You're going to bring the hands onto the lower back, palms facing up, forehead to the floor. On your inhale, gently lifting the chest, Ardha Shalabhasana. Exhale, release. Inhale, lifting the chest. And exhale, release. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. This time, inhale, reach the right arm around and up as you lift. Inhale. Exhale, release the right arm back, right hand back, right ear to the floor. Inhale, left arm forward, lift the chest. Exhale, left arm back, left ear to the floor. And continuing here, 2 more on each side. Inhale, lifting halfway, reach the right arm forward. Exhale, releasing, right ear to the floor. Inhale, left. Exhale, left ear to the floor. Inhale, right arm forward, lift the chest. Exhale, right hand, right ear to the floor. Last one, inhale, lifting left. Exhale, left ear. This time, inhale, both arms come forward, lift the chest, and exhale, cactus the arms. Inhale, reaching the arms forward, lift. Exhale, strongly cactus the arms, lift the chest higher. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, cactus the arms, lift the chest. Hold the chest high. Release the hands by the ribs. Inhale here, lift the chest a little higher. And exhale, pressing up and back, downward facing dog. As you come into downward facing dog, feel those lower back ribs just kind of open up and send the tailbone towards the wall up behind you. Feel the navel drawing in on the exhale. Pressing the inner thighs to the back of the room on the exhale as well. And then take your time walking your feet towards the front of the mat, coming back into your forward fold. Here you can keep the feet hips width apart, or you can bring the big toes to touch and outside edges of the feet parallel. A little bend in the knees, fold forward over the legs. Just 3 rounds of breath here. If it's comfortable for you, turning your gaze a little bit towards the navel. Then slowly rolling up vertebrae by vertebrae. Sweeping the arms high, breathe all the way in. Exhaling, hands through heart center. Good. So here, bring the feet hips width apart if they're not there already. And to bring the arms by the sides, palms facing back. Coming into our breath work. As you inhale, sweep the arms high. And as you exhale, releasing the arms by the sides. Good. Inhale, sweep the arms high. Breathe in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, releasing all the way down. Free exhale. Navel drawing into the back body. Tailbone releasing down. Inhaling for 6. Exhale, releasing arms forward and down. Navel drawing in and up. Good. Inhaling for 7. When you're ready. As you reach the top of the breath now, slowing down the breath, reach the chest a little higher. And exhale, free breath out. Doesn't have to be too long. Just a nice even free breath out. Navel drawing in. Good. And then inhaling for 8, 7, 6, 5. Reach up through the collarbones. Reach up through the crown of the head and hold here. Exhale, navel drawing in and up. This time, inhale for 6. And then at the top of the breath, hold for 2. Lift the chest a little higher. Keep the arms high. Exhale, navel draws in and up. Again, inhale for 6. Hold for 2. As you hold, lift the collarbones, the crown of the head. And exhale, long exhale, coming back to the navel, drawing in and up. 2 more on your own breath. Inhaling for 6. Hold for 2. In the hold, feel for greater length in the whole spine. And exhale, strongly draw the navel in and up. Last one. Deep breath in for 6. Hold for 2. Reach a little higher through the crown of the head. And then exhale, releasing the arms back behind you, clasping the hands together, excuse me. Inhale, lift the chest, bend in the elbows, squeeze the upper arm bones together, and exhale, forward fold over the legs. In the forward fold, strongly draw the upper arm bones together. Press the shoulder blades together. If comfortable, turning the gaze towards the navel. We're not rounding the back to do that, by the way. We're really just bringing the chin in towards the throat. And then if you're comfortable, adding the abdominal breath. On the exhale, draw the navel in and up. Feel for some additional length in the lower back. On your exhale, releasing the hands down to the floor. Inhale, lifting halfway. And exhale, stepping the right foot to the back of the mat in lunge. Here you can keep the fingertips to the floor if you have no blocks. If you have a block or a book, you can bring your hand onto the block, second highest height, and the left hand to the outside edge of the left knee. Coming into the isometric here. 5 deep breaths, pressing the knee into the hand, pressing the hand back into the knee. Filling the body with breath. And by that I mean breathing all the way in and all the way out. Sometimes we forget. Good. On your exhale, releasing the back knee down to the floor. Inhale, sweeping the arms high. Exhaling, hands through heart center. Going to bring your left hand to the knee, right hand to the lower belly. Draw the lower belly in and up. And feel for the tailbone releasing down. Good. So you can see in the video how my hips are kind of stacked over the knee. That's where we want to start. We're going to really intensely draw the lower belly in and up so you're engaging the core. Keep the lower belly lifting as you start to slide the hips forward. And in this way, we're accessing not just the quads, but we're also meeting the psoas. Good. Keep the collarbones lifting. If you like, you can have the back foot tucked, or you can bring the shin to the floor. That may be nicer on your knee. Good. And then here we're going to add a little bit for the shoulders. I'm going to sweep the arms around, reaching up high, and then crossing the hands and clasp the hands together, elbows bent. Yeah? And then inhale, take a deep breath in, reach the hands up to the sky. And exhale, a little bend in the elbows, hands towards the head. Good. Inhale, press the hands high, straighten the arms. Exhale, bending in. And if you can't do this with the arms back, you can bring them a little bit forward. One more. Inhale, reach. And exhale, bending in. This time, inhale, straighten the arms. Keep the hands clasped if possible. If not, just a wide V is fine. You're going to press strongly down through the back shin. Lift up through the lower belly. Gently hug the tailbone into the body. And then turn the navel to face towards the left knee. Breathe into the lower back, right ribs. Good. Keeping the twist. I'm going to release the hands and release the right hand down to the block, the left hand to the knee. Release the hips forward and down, and then roll the left shoulder open. Coming into your twist here. Let the hips be really nice and soft, so we don't want to be kind of twisting from here. We want to draw the hips back, forward and down. Yeah. And then we can lengthen forward through the chest, gently cycling the navel up towards the sky. Good. And then on your exhale, releasing your gaze down. Bring the hands down to the floor. Inhale, tucking the back toes and lifting into lunge. Exhale, pressing up and back into three-legged downward facing dog. If this is uncomfortable for you, coming back to four-legged downward facing dog. But here, if you can, three-legged downward facing dog. Left leg lifted. And then we're going to draw the left hip above the right hip. Turn the left toes out to the left. And lift the left leg. Keep the left leg lifted, little tongue twister, as you release the left shoulder even with the right. Nice deep long breaths here. Slowly draw the left knee into the chest, shoulders over the wrists, and placing the left foot by the left wrist. Here I'm going to have you peel the back heel down to the floor, paste the back heel down to the floor. Bring your left hand onto a block or a book. Right hand onto the lower back, and gently roll the right shoulder above the left. So we're kind of twisting in the other direction here now. Press through the outside edge of the back foot. Good. And launch the collarbones forward. If you are struggling or kind of you've met your edge, stay here. To add the deeper breath work, you're going to inhale, reach the arms up and over the top ear. Top arm over the top ear. And exhale, releasing the right arm back to the hip. And look behind you. Inhale, as you reach the right arm up and over, look at the top elbow. And exhale, releasing the right fingertips back behind you, and look where you're putting your fingers. As you continue, when you reach the right arm over the right ear, let the right ribs bow open a little bit. And exhale, lengthen both sidelines of the body, looking back. Good, 3 more on your own breath. Allow the ribs to bow open on the inhale. Lengthen the sidelines of the body on the exhale. Good, 1 more inhale. Reach the arm overhead. And then looking down to the mat. Good, hands to the floor. And then walking the back foot forward. Take a deep breath in, long spine. And exhale, fold forward over the legs. 3 rounds of breath here. You can have a little bit of a bend in the knees or starting to straighten the legs. Lift the tailbone. And on the exhale, finding the navel, drawing in and up. Releasing the lower back. Good. On your inhale, lift halfway and lengthen. Exhale, stepping the left foot to the back of the mat in lunge. Bring the left hand onto a block. Right hand onto the outside edge of the right knee. And coming into the isometric here. Pressing the knee into the hand, pressing the hand back into the knee, and filling the body with breath. On your exhale, releasing the back knee down to the floor. Inhale, sweeping the arms high. Exhale, hands through heart center. Right hand to the knee, left hand to the lower belly. Gently draw in and up, excuse me, through Uddiyana Bandha, releasing the tailbone all the way down towards the back knee. And then keep the lower abdomen drawing in and up to the back ribs as you start to slide the hips forward. And again, you can be up on the back balls of the toes, or maybe easier on the knee, pressing the shin to the floor. Keep drawing deeply in and up through the lower belly. If you like, you can keep the hands to the body. It can be a little bit more of a sense of balance here. Or if you like, sweeping the arms high. And this time crossing the opposite arm in front. I think we did the right arm in front last time, so maybe left arm in front this time. And then clasping the hands. Taking a deep breath in. Exhale, bending the elbows, hands to the head. Good. Then as you inhale, lifting the wrists, lifting the fists, and lift the chest. Exhale, releasing. So on each inhale, we're straightening the arms, really strong, tightening the arms by the head and lifting the chest. And as you exhale, bending, let the shoulder blades soften down the back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, soften. And then inhaling, straightening the arms, holding here. Arms really tight by the head. And then turning the navel to face towards the bent knee, the front bent knee. Back shin pressing to the floor. Gently drawing in and up through the lower belly. Then holding the twist, and as you exhale, releasing the left hand down to the block and the right hand to the right knee. Yeah? And then let the hips travel forward and down and roll the right shoulder open. Really sweet for the organs, for the spine. And as you deepen your practice, you'll notice that it's nice to tend to the hamstrings and the shoulders and the arms. But when we keep bringing the practice back to the organs and the spine, there's a more deeper connection, deeper relationship with a quality of life force, energy, and a sense of having really nourished the form, nourish the organism. And then on your exhale, releasing the hands down to the floor, tucking the back toes, lifting into lunge. And as we exhale, pressing up and back into three-legged downward facing dog. If you're taking downward facing dog, just landing here. Otherwise, in three-legged downward facing dog, spread wide through the toes so you have a really nice idea of where the foot is in space. And then you're going to draw the right hip above the left, turning the right toes out to the right. Here you might notice that right shoulder popping up. That's okay to start. When you're stable, release the right shoulder down even with the left. And it can be helpful here to visualize somebody pressing down on your top shin as you press back up into their hands. Press back through the back heel. Nice and slow, drawing the right knee back into the chest. The transitions in the practice are deeply important. Placing the right foot by the right wrist. Yeah? Pivot the back heel down to the floor, and then bring the right hand onto a block or on books, instep side of the front foot, and then the left hand on the lower back. Roll the left shoulder above the right. Parshvakonasana here. Really rooted and grounding posture, but also brilliant for bringing some attention to the kidneys and the adrenals. So we can stay here if you like, rolling that top shoulder above the bottom shoulder, or moving, finding the breath. Inhale, sweeping the top arm over the top ear. Exhale, releasing the arm back, looking back in the direction of the fingers. As you inhale, reach the arm over the head, looking up to the elbow. And exhale, arm back, looking to the fingers. Good. Inhaling, reach overhead, starting to let the ribs bow open. Exhale, releasing back. Sidelines of the body grow long. To the breath. Moving in your own breath here. And again, this should feel pretty sweet. It's a demanding posture, but there's also a quality of kind of moving into pockets of tension and space in the body that maybe don't get a lot of attention. Good. And then inhale, reaching the top arm over the top ear, releasing the left hand down, right hand down to the mat. Good. And then stepping to the front of the mat. Inhale, long spine, and exhale, forward fold. 3 rounds of breath here. If you can, drawing the navel to the back body on the exhale. And then planting the hands, walking the feet back into downward facing dog. And then here, coming into this abdominal breath a little bit more fiercely. So with every exhale, strongly drawing the navel in and up to the back ribs. Inhale, breathing into the bowl of the pelvis. Sliding the heels back and down. And pressing the inner thighs to the back of the room. But the legs matter, but here it's really about the breath in the abdomen. If you're comfortable turning your gaze towards the belly button, 4 more rounds of breath. And on your exhale, releasing the knees down to the floor. Bring the left hand underneath the nose. As you inhale, sweep the right arm out at a T. And exhale, sweeping the right arm underneath the left armpit and coming to lie down on the outside edge of that right arm. So we're in an inverted twist here. The right side of the head on the floor. The left hand can be planted on the floor in front of the face and gently rolling the left shoulder open. Breathe into the lower back ribs if you can. And as we hold this twist, a few more rounds of breath. Imagine any worries, any anxiety that you may be holding in the body, the energetic quality of those experiences just wringing out of the body in the twist. And then coming back to center, coming back into table. Bring the right hand underneath the nose, left arm out to a T, sweeping the left arm underneath the right armpit, releasing the head to the floor. And the right hand can come just on the floor in front of the face, and then rolling the right shoulder open. If possible, breathing into those lower back ribs. Also noticing the compression in the lower back ribs against the organs here. And we're wringing out any energetic quality of nervousness or worry or anxiety or even fear. Doesn't have to have a story to it. It can just be unprocessed, energetic holding. Couple more rounds of breath, deepening in the twist if you can. And coming back up to center. And just to give some love to the spine, inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, draw the navel in strongly and bring the hips back towards the heels, elbows bent, forehead towards the floor. Inhale, coming up onto the hands and the knees. Lift the chest at the top of the breath. And then as you exhale, strongly lift the navel, tailbone hugging in, tuck the chin into the throat, and long lengthening all the way back into child's pose. Really sweet extension for the spine. Last one, inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, the work comes from the lift of the lower belly, tucking the chin into the throat, coming back with this really long spine. Then inhale, coming up onto the hands and the knees, crossing at the ankles, and coming back to sit. And so we'll come into Baddha Konasana. If you have rounding in the lower back, you may want to sit up on a block or a blanket. Baddha Konasana, bound ankle posture. Bring the soles of the feet together, the knees out to the sides. Good. You can hug the hands around the bottom of the feet or the peace fingers around the big toes. Yeah. And then inhale, strongly lift the collarbones. Exhale, strongly draw the lower belly in and up. Gently nestle the tailbone into the floor like you're planting it in the earth. Inhale, lift the collarbones. Exhale, strongly engage the lower belly, plant the tailbone down into the floor. 3 more rounds of breath just like this, really focusing on that additional extension in the spine in both directions. And here we can kind of ease out a lot of that myofascial tension and cohesion that we collect around the shoulders and the spine, down into the lower back and the hips, just by working with the breath. Keeping that long spine. You can stay here if you like, or if you like lengthening forward. But as you lengthen forward, avoid rounding the upper back, because you can even try it out yourself in this long spine posture. As you come forward, just round the upper back and you'll notice that absolutely nothing happens, or very, very little. So we want to keep this long spine, tailbone rooted into the floor, and then long spine coming forward with that nice long spine over the legs. And there we can start to access the hips. Long, deep breaths here. Let the gaze soften through one point now. The less we take in optically, the more we can turn the attention of the brain to the inner dynamics of our experience. Breathe into sensation as though you're creating a conversation with the experience of the body. So I like to think of kind of sensation in the body being one part of a dialogue, and the breath being the response or the question. And so we start to enter into this relationship with the body, and hopefully a lot of it is based on curiosity rather than on expectation. It's a much nicer way to approach being in the body most of the time. Lifting the chest, extending the legs forward, draw the toes back towards the belly. Deep breath in, really nice long spine, and exhale, forward folding. You can bring the hands to the outside edges of the calves or the knees, or if you can reach without rounding the upper back, if you can reach the big toes, bring the peace fingers around the big toes. So we'll start in the same way as we did in Baddha Konasana. Inhale, lift the collarbones. Yeah, if the hands are on the shins, that's okay. And exhale, draw the lower belly in and up. We're not even coming forward in the fold yet. Inhale, lift the collarbones, really lengthen the spine. Exhale, strongly draw the lower belly in and up so the tailbone is hugging down into the floor. Got two more like this. Adding the little tuck of the chin if you can. And really feeling for this long, intelligent highway of the spine, just zooming up through the crown of the head on the inhale, and then back down into the floor on the exhale. And there's so much richness just in these kind of spinal holds that we can do. And then keeping that lift of the lower belly, slowly maybe come into your forward fold, but notice if the forward fold means you round the thoracic spine. See if you can keep the upper back really nice and long, and then keep drawing the navel into the back body on the exhale. Soften the gaze through one point, or even close your eyes in this one. And you may start to get an ache or rawness in the lower back, kind of around the lower back ribs. And we're just saying a little bit more of a hello into the kidneys and the adrenals if we're working in this long spine. Couple more rounds of breath. And then slowly on your inhale, lifting all the way up, and just take a moment to sit here. Notice the spaciousness in the body, the tone, the vibration of the body. Sometimes that tone or vibration can get really deep, like you can almost sense that deep om resonating along the spine. All right, from here, bring the feet planted to the mat, reaching forward and coming down vertebrae by vertebrae to the floor. Once you're lying down, hugging the knees into the chest, just take a round of breath, letting the spine relax into the floor. Then bring the arms out at a T to the body. Deep breath in. And as you exhale, release the knees over to the right elbow. And looking out over the left shoulder. And letting the whole body soften here. And then bring the knees back into center. And over to the other side. And looking out over the opposite shoulder here. And again, you can bring your mind, your attention into this idea of wringing out the spine, wringing out the organs, any old stagnant energy collected in the pockets of the body, just being gently squeezed out from the twist. And then bring the knees back into the chest, hugging them in. Again, take a nice round of breath into the spine. Notice sensation along the spine, maybe even into the cavity of the organs. And then when you're ready, extending your legs forward along the mat. And bring the arms at a comfortable distance from the body. Coming into Shavasana and closing your eyes. To begin Shavasana, bring your attention into your breath. And if possible, bring the breath down into the bowl of the pelvis. And then starting to bring a little bit of rhythm to the breath. Inhaling for about 4 counts and exhaling for about 4 counts. And then if it's comfortable for you, keeping the 4 count inhale and extending into a 5, 6, 7, or 8 count exhale. Letting the exhale grow longer with each out breath. And then on the next exhale, letting the breath go, releasing the control over the breath if you haven't already. Letting the breath become soft within the body. And bring your attention into the awareness of the whole body, into presence. And see if you can sense the whole of the body filled with the presence and energetic awareness. And the presence of the mind in the body. And the presence of the body filling the mind. And then see if you can sense the energy inside the body being the same as the energy outside of the body. And it may help to give the energy in the body and outside of the body the color blue. And then starting to deepen your breath. Feel for the outline of your body in space. And gently move through the fingers and the toes. And then bring the knees up into the chest, hugging them in. And take a breath or two here, feeling the whole length of the spine, all the way down to the sacrum, all the way down to the tailbone in the floor. And then coming over onto your right-hand side, resting here. And connecting back into your intention or offering for practice this morning. And visualizing your intention planted as a seed in the center of your practice, both on and off the mat. With your eyes closed, slowly pressing up into a comfortable seated posture. And bring the hands to heart center. Feel for the full length of the spine. The quality of the energy inside the body. And maybe even sensing the energy inside the body as the same as the outside of the body. Gently releasing the head to the heart, the mind to the body. Namaste. Thank you. Have a beautiful day.